All right, so as always, we've got new requirements coming in. So we're gonna have to update our API to take care of these new requirements. All right, so now we have a requirement from Central Grocery Headquarters that they would like to be able to filter the items. So right now they can get all the items and they can even get a singular item by its ID, but that's not good enough for HQ. HQ would like to be able to filter the items so they get all the items below a certain price. So they're going to give us a price, $10, $20, whatever. And they would like all the items that are at that price or below. Okay, that's what they want to be able to filter our items by that. Now, we will that's a perfectly fine thing to do and we can handle it. We're going to use what are called query string parameters, okay, in order to do that. And it's really, really simple. It sounds fancy, but it isn't. What we're going to do is we're going to first make a new function inside of our repo. So I went to item repo and I'm going to make a new function. I'm going to call it get items below cost. All right. And it's going to take in a cost, which is a number. I'm going to filter my items. I'm going to return this dot items dot filter x arrow x dot cost is less than or equal to cost that's being brought in. So remember, filter returns an array. Okay, it will basically go through your array and say, cool, is the cost of this item less than or equal to the cost that's being passed in? If it's yes, it'll be put in the new array. If not, it's left out. Okay, so this will get all my items that are at or below a certain cost. Cool, great, let's keep going. So now we're gonna have to make some changes though, because I have my endpoint slash items and a get. So this is going to be a get, but they want to be able to, either get all the items or get all the items by this new minimum price. So we can do that. Let's switch over to Postman so that we can get some context for how we're going to differentiate between the two. All right, so here we are in Postman. We have localhost port 3000 slash items. Now, we've seen these query strings before, but let's review what they are. After items, I'm going to put a question mark. Okay, and then I'm going to put my query parameter. So I'm going to put max price. Let's say I want my max price to be 20. Right, so this is a parameter, the query string parameter, max price. Again, it's a variable. You decide what the name is. It could be zebra, if that's what you felt like. And then equals, and then the value. So this is the key, okay, and this is the value. If you have more than one query string parameter, the first one comes after the question mark, and then you have and, let's say min price equals 100 or something, or 5. Okay, this is if you had multiple. All right, so we have the endpoint. Okay, so we have localhost port 3000 is our base. Then we have items, and then we have this question mark to say, okay, cool, we're done with the URL now. Here are some query string parameters. We'd like to filter based on these options. Okay, so it's a little different than when we did ID. ID was like, hey, we're looking for this one specific thing based on this property. This is saying I have some parameters, like maybe 3, 5, 10, I don't know. I could have like a bunch of them. Here's what they are. So in our case, we're gonna have max price. We're gonna set it to 20. So this is what the URL coming in is gonna look like. So it could look like, excuse me, it could look like this, or it could look like this with the question mark. So we don't know which way it's gonna come at us. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of conditional statements to kind of figure out like which way is it coming at us. Okay, and that's fine. No problem. So we're gonna go back to Visual Studio and then let's go inside this .get/items. All right, I would like to check to first see, hey, am I getting a max price query parameter in? So if, and remember we're still working with this request object. Request.query.maxPrice is undefined. Okay, request.query. Okay, that refers to the query string parameters, and then the name of it. Okay, and again, this could be zebra. Whatever, it's a variable. All right, so basically I'm saying is, hey, if this just doesn't exist, do what you normally do. Okay, give me back all the items. Do what you normally do. But if it does exist, let's do something different. Okay, so if max price does exist, we're going to return a response with a status of 200, and we're going to give them some JSON, except we're going to call a different function. We're going to say item repo dot update get item below cost, and we're going to pass in request. We're going to cast as a number request dot query dot max price. Okay, so now this one endpoint slash items can do one of two things. If you give it a max price query parameter, it will run get items below cost. If you don't, it will do what it normally does and do get all items. Okay, it just depends. Which one does it get? Let's test it out. So we're going to switch back to Postman. And I'm going to put max price equals 20. I'm going to double check to make certain I named that correctly. Max price, awesome. All right, let's try it. So let's actually do, they have low prices. Let's just do 5. Okay, max price equals 5. So I want everything that is $5 or below. Okay, cool. So I've got milk, which is $2.99, egg, which is $1.99, and bread. There's no ham. Okay, so if I take out my query string parameter, so everything at the question mark and over, and just do regular items, okay, it will include ham, but ham is $5.99. So ham got filtered out. So this is for everything slash items, and then when I put the query string parameter max price and run it, ham gets filtered out because it is above $5. Okay, so this is great. Again, query string parameters, you start off with a question mark, then the name of the parameter as the key, and then what is equal to the value. If you have more than one, use an and sign. Min price equals, I don't know, like 1. And you keep doing and over and over and over again. You can have as many of these as you want. Please try not to have too many because it can be a pain, but there's nothing that stops you. All right, so we look back at our code. Let's review our code a moment. Okay, turn off Postman. There we go. So we have our items endpoint. Okay, so we get our request in. If the request query string does not have max price, so that max price would be undefined, meaning it doesn't exist. If it doesn't exist, we return all items. Item repo that get all items. If it does exist, instead, I want to run get items below cost and take that request.query.maxPrice as the input to that function and return only those items at or below that cost. So it looks like we have one endpoint, but it has two different behaviors, whether or not we get those query string parameters. Okay, and this is it's very convenient because, like I said, now HQ can get all the items, or it can just get the items that are below a certain price, and so they're happy. So our API will fulfill requirements. And that's how you get query string parameters.